Okay, well, the first point from the affirmative side that they made is that free college is by and large necessary to have upward mobility, which isn't, we're not denying that it is. Whether or not college education should be free is a entirely different point, because they don't give a reason as to why it should be free when there are programs offering to assist. This brings into consideration the financial aid, FAFSA, that we applied for, in which definitely not all students take advantage of the financial support and opportunities, such as the financial aid scholarships available to them. And for the Smith, Barrel, Delis made a report, from the Hitchiner report, titled "Report Are Too Few College Students Asking for Federal Aid?" And for the class of 2018, 60.9% of graduates completed FAFSA, and 40% of students are not applying for FAFSA. That's a big issue. And for student debt, this could possibly be relieved if more students apply for financial aid. And then the second point that they make is that low-income students may benefit from free college tuition, but there are many examples within the U.S. where free college tuition is not targeted for low-income students. So FAFSA also calculates accordingly to specifically help lower-income families, where on their studentaid.ed.gov, they talk about how aid is calculated, and they state that your eligibility depends on your expected family and contribution, your year in school, your enrollment status, and the cost of attendance at the school you will be attending. The financial aid office at your college or career school determine how much financial aid you receive. And so they take into consideration the cost of attendance, the family contribution, and they subtract your EFC from your expected family contribution from your cost of attendance to determine the amount of financial aid that you need. And you can also declare independent and dependent to accommodate for whether or not you actually receive support from your family. And as for the low-income students from the programs that we have, the Education Trust, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on free college tuition, actually has reviewed 15 programs within the U.S. that attempt to make college tuition free, and the Education Trust has 8 criteria on what they define as free college education, and which covers at least 4, in which they define as covers at least 4 years of tuition, and it covers a bachelor's degree at a 4-year institution, and it's supposed to help low-income students, covering living expenses and covering fees in addition to tuition, and includes adults and returning students. No college GPA requirement, allows students to enroll at half-time, and grant does not convert to a loan if criteria isn't met. And none of the 15 programs within the U.S. were approved by the College of Education Trust. An NPR article goes into more depth about this, and by Corey Turner, that's called "If Free College Sounds Too Good to Be True, That's Because It Often Is." And So they only cover, so far there's only 4 programs that actually help, actually target the lower income students. And they have a chart in which they show, and it's really only 4 about, and they all vary between which they meet the criteria, but and specifically, since they brought up lower income students, only 4 of them actually bring it up, and most of them actually are specifically to sign up. Most of them are from, you have to sign up in elementary. Also, in addition to that, no college free program has been able to fully closely accept what they define as free college tuition. And there was an analyst that showed up in that same NPR article that was, there we go, that said that there is no truly universal college is completely free for everyone program, which was by Katie Berger, a senior analyst at the nonprofit advocacy group. And they go into, and they cover about all these flaws with these and how, and this further adding to this is that there's a New York Times article that says that we find in Tennessee, by Ashley A. Smith, that we find in Tennessee and New York, which have programs to focus on that low-income students have an immense unmet need. And part of it is because we need to take into consideration that they mention that for the third point, they also say that they eliminate for the need for extra loans and when the college tuition is paid for, but they don't take into consideration but they only say tuition, but then later on the affirmative mentions insurance, credit, which are different things that aren't accommodated for in college free tuition programs. For the fourth, the economy is impacted. Well, it is impacted, but the taxes will inevitably be raised. In a New York Times article, should college be free? It says that first, college isn't free. It simply shifts the cost from students to taxpayers and caps tuition at zero. And that tuition caps limits college spending to whatever the public is willing to invest. And so, and then enrollments will also increase and the need. They did not address on how admissions will be impacted, which is very important. Because if tuition is free and if admissions don't change, then that just means that there will be more students waitlisted, not necessarily more students applying or getting into college.